नमस्कार. रयत शिक्षण संस्थेच्या रयत ऑनलाईन स्कूल एज्युकेशन या प्रोग्राम अंतर्गत इयत्ता 11वीच्या बायोलॉजी या विषयासाठी सुरू असणाऱ्या लेक्चर सिरीजमध्ये आपणा सर्वांचे मी स्वागत करते. I hope that previous aspects are all clear to you. Now let's start new chapter, that is systematics of living organism. Already we know what is living organism. In this lesson we are going to know about systematics and some important aspects of taxonomy. Then how living organisms are classified. So there is a detailed study of classification. Each and every point of classification is explained in this chapter. Then nomenclature is given in this chapter. Actually nomenclature means what? Name given to the object, but here we will study bionomial nomenclature, means name given to living organism. So that is bionomial nomenclature, and there are certain rules for this bionomial nomenclature. Then we will study five kingdom system of classification, and the next point is some acellular organisms like viruses and lichen. So this is overview of this chapter. So these points will be explained in this chapter. Five kingdom system of classification. Carl Linnaeus the scientist classified living organism into two kingdoms based on nutrition, whether they are migratory, sedentary. Actually, but this broad classification as kingdom Plantae and Animalia was found inadequate. It could not classify the organism that show characteristics of both the kingdoms. Hence, to avoid confusion, scientist R.H. Whittaker proposed five kingdom system of classification. Actually, this system shows phylogenetic relationship between the organism. The previous broad classification, that is a two kingdom system of classification, is used initially because actually there are two kingdoms, Plantae and Animalia, and these two kingdoms do not have any place for bacteria, fungi and other one. That's why scientist R.H. Whittaker proposed this five system of classification. So this is five kingdom of classification. Scientist R.H. Whittaker proposed this system, that is five kingdom system of classification. So these kingdoms are kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Fungi and kingdom Animal. So scientist R.H. Whittaker proposed this five kingdom of classification, five kingdom classification of living organism in 1969. So it consists of five kingdoms: kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So these are five kingdoms. The five kingdom system of classification is based on various criteria, because classification needs some criteria. So this kingdom system, that is five kingdom system, depends on the criteria like cell organization, whether the cell is prokaryotic or eukaryotic, means primitive one and advanced one. Then second criteria is body organization. Then third criteria is mode of nutrition, autotrophic, heterotrophic, saprophytic. And the last criteria of this classification is lifestyle. So these criteria are very important for this classification. Again, the criteria are cell organization. The second criteria is body organization. Then the third criteria, mode of nutrition, and then last criteria is lifestyle. So first one, kingdom Monera. So it includes prokaryotes, means unicellular prokaryotic organisms are present in first kingdom, that is kingdom Monera. For example, nostoc. Then in second kingdom, that is kingdom Protista. So this kingdom Protista includes the organisms which are unicellular. Here unicellular means single cell is present. And eukaryotes means advanced type of cell, that is eukaryotic cell is present. So kingdom Protista includes unicellular eukaryotic animal, for example amoeba. Then the third kingdom is kingdom fungi. The kingdom fungi includes multicellular organism. Multicellular means many cells are present. So this kingdom fungi includes multicellular eukaryotic organisms with heterotrophic nutrition by absorption. But this heterotrophic nutrition by absorption means there is a saprophytic mode of nutrition, means that depends on material. They depends on dead and decaying matter. Then the next one is kingdom Plantae. So kingdom Plantae means obviously multicellular eukaryotic organism. They are photosynthetic autotrophs. Autotrophs means they prepare their own food. For example, Spirogyra. And then last kingdom, that is kingdom Animalia. So this kingdom Animalia, animal shows, means the living organism shows multicellular nature, then eukaryotic cell, then heterotrophic organism, means they depend on other for their nutrition. For example, fishes. So this is five kingdom system of classification. Kingdom Monera is there, then Protista, then fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So there are some advantages of this five kingdom system. The all groups of organism get proper place and taxonomic status. Prokaryotes are separated from eukaryotes. As we know, that is Monera includes prokaryotes and Protista includes eukaryotes. So these two are separated in this kingdom. Then Plantae and kingdom Animalia, then fungi. These three kingdoms are formed, and they are formed on the basis of their mode of nutrition. So that's why five kingdom system is very important system of classification. So this system was proposed by scientist R.H. Whittaker in 1969. We will study all the five kingdoms, that is five kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia, one by one sequentially. But here we are going to start kingdom Monera. So here are some features of kingdom Monera, saline features of kingdom Monera. Mainly these organisms are microscopic. These organisms are unicellular. Unicellular means single cell is present. Then prokaryotic. Prokaryotic means they have prokaryotic cell, that is primitive type of cell. Then the next feature of kingdom Monera is they are omnipresent, means they present everywhere. Everywhere bacteria is present. The main member of this kingdom Monera is bacteria. That's why we can say the organisms or kingdom Monera is omnipresent, that is bacteria. That bacteria is present everywhere. Then the next one, that is majority are heterotrophic but few are autotrophic. So heterotrophic means actually this is mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic means they depends on other for their nutrition, and autotrophic means they prepare their own food. They makes their own nutrition. Then the next feature is not a well-defined nucleus. The organism possesses a primitive or prokaryotic type of nucleus, that is nucleus without nuclear envelope, nucleolus, nucleoplasm, and two true chromosomes are absent. So such type of nucleus is called nucleoid. That's why the well-developed nucleus is not present. Then again the next important feature which is related with genetic material, that is small circular molecules of DNA as an extra chromosomal genetic element, that is plasmids. So plasmids are present in this. Then the cell wall, the next feature, that is this one is related with cell wall. So cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan or murin. So peptidoglycan and murin, which is a polymer of sugar and amino acids. So Actually, the cell wall is composed of this peptidoglycan, and these cells do not possess membrane-bound cell organelles. Means membrane-bound cell organelles means there is a absence of mitochondria, which is a powerhouse of cell. Then chloroplast. In some member, chloroplast is present, that is autotrophic one. Then endoplasmic reticulums are absent. So these are membrane bound cell organelles, and these cell organelles are absent in kingdom Monera. Then the next feature of kingdom Monera is ribosome, 70s type of ribosome. So these type of ribosome, this means the smaller ones are present in this kingdom Monera organism. Then the next feature is related with their mode of reproduction. So in Monera, there is a asexual mode of reproduction is present, that is with the help of binary fission or budding, but very rarely there is a sexual reproduction by conjugation method. So these are the aligned features of kingdom Monera. The smallest one, that is microscopic organism, unicellular, and the prokaryotic one. Mainly bacteria are included in this kingdom Monera. Morphologically, the bacteria are classified into four types. Means the bacteria are classified on the basis of their shape. You can see there are four types of bacteria. The first one is Coccus, then Bacillus, then the third one is Vibrio, and then fourth one is Spirillum. The first one, that is Coccus. Coccus is actually spherical shaped or rounded shaped bacteria. So in this picture you can see the rounded shaped bacteria. The example is Streptococcus pneumoniae. It causes pneumonia. Then the second one is Bacillus. Bacillus bacteria. So this Bacillus is rod shaped bacteria. For example, Bacillus anthracis, and it causes anthrax. Then the third one is Vibrio. So this Vibrio is kidney shaped structure. This Vibrio causes cholera, for example, Vibrio cholerae. Then the fourth type of bacteria is Spirillum. So this Spirillum bacteria is actually spiral shaped bacteria, and for example, Helicobacter pylori, it causes peptic ulcer. So on the basis of shape, bacteria are classified into four categories: Coccus, Bacillus, Vibrio, and Spirillum. And again, one more criteria for bacterial classification. Actually, this criteria is not included in your textbook but in next some points, there are the words, that is autotrophic, heterotrophic, then photoautotrophs, chemoautotrophs, and then saprophytic. That's why here the explanation of this classification. So bacteria is again classified on the basis of mode of nutrition. So there are mainly two kinds of bacteria, autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic means they prepare their own food. Heterotrophic means they depends on other for their food. So this is very simple concept, that is autotrophic. Green plants are autotrophs and animals are heterotrophs, for example just. Then next one is the autotrophic. So there are two kinds of autotrophs, photoautotrophs and chemoautotrophs. Photoautotrophs means what? Photons means light. They use light energy for preparation of their food. Then chemoautotrophs, chemo means here chemical. So they derive energy from chemical reactions. Then next main category is heterotrophs, that is they depends on other for their food, for their nutrition. So these heterotrophs are broadly classified into parasitic and saprophytic. So parasitic means they depends on other, means actually they live or in other plants and animals, means they live inside body of plants and animals, or they live on the surface of plants and animals and getting nutrition from those plants and animals. So they are known as parasitic. And then saprophytic means they depends on dead organism for their nutrition. So this is again the next broad classification of bacteria, which depends on mode of nutrition. So kingdom Monera, mainly bacteria are present in this kingdom Monera. So this kingdom Monera is divided into two parts. On the basis of evolution, bacteria can be classified into Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Here Archaebacteria means ancient things, that is old one, and then Eubacteria means true bacteria. So Archaebacteria, these Archaebacteria are specially known as extremophiles. So extreme condition, extremo means here extreme condition and philes means loving. So extreme condition loving, these bacteria are live in extreme and harsh condition. So extreme and harsh condition means what? Here is a volcanic hot spring, so these bacteria can live in this volcanic hot spring. So very high temperature is there, so that is extreme condition. So how they are present in this extreme condition, or how they can survive in this extreme condition? Because the cell wall of this bacteria is very tough. The cell wall of this bacteria is very thick, and this cell wall is made up of a polysaccharide, and then surface layer proteins are present. So that's why they are extremophiles bacteria. Actually there are some kinds of this extremophile. The first one is halophiles, that is they live in extreme salty areas. Then methanogens, actually these methanogens are found in cow dung mainly, and these methanogens live in marshy area, marshy places. They also live in gut of that is intestinal tract of cows and buffalo. The important thing, that is this methanogens are used in biogas production, that is methane gas production. So this biogas is prepared with the help of this cow dung. So this methanogen is again Archaebacteria, which is very important one. Then the third one is thermoacidophiles bacteria. Thermoacidophiles means very high temperature and heat lovers actually. So they live in hot sulfur springs. So these are some kinds of Archaebacteria. So in first or in previous classification, this Archaebacteria is not included under any special kingdom. That's why this Archaebacteria is included in kingdom Monera by Carl Woese. The second kind of bacteria is Eubacteria, that is true bacteria. Commonly it is known as a true bacteria. They have cell wall of peptidoglycan, and they found as autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs means they prepare their food. Heterotrophs means they are depend on other for their food, but very few are heterotrophs. So here autotrophs can be photosynthetic, like chlorobium, that is green sulfur bacteria, and chromatium, that is chromatium or chemosynthetic, like sulfur bacteria. Then actually these bacteria are multicellular bacteria, multicellular filamentous form, which are lives in fresh water, and these the body of these bacteria are covered with mucilaginous sheath. The bacteria means the filaments of this bacteria, they shows heterocyst, and this heterocyst is very important for nitrogen fixation. So these autotrophic bacteria are a important one, and they are classified into photosynthetic and chemosynthetic bacteria. Then next one is a heterotrophic bacteria. So heterotrophic bacteria, there are some examples of this heterotrophic bacteria. So this most of them are decomposers, and they are known for breaking down large molecules into simpler form. Sorry, into simpler form. The first one, that is actually here are some uses of this heterotrophic bacteria. The first bacteria is lactobacillus. This lactobacillus plays important role in fermentation. This lactose is converted into lactic acid. That is because of lactobacillus. This lactobacillus is used in making curd from milk. Means the curdling formation is due to this lactobacillus. Then the second one, the second bacteria is the soil bacteria. Actually, this second bacteria is Streptomyces. This bacteria is used in production of antibiotic. Then the third one is the rhizobium. This rhizobium is very important because it plays important role in nitrogen fixation in legume plant. Then instead of rhizobium, there is a azotobacter. So this azotobacter is also very important for nitrogen fixation. So these are heterotrophic bacteria. In today's session, we are discussion on five kingdom system of classification. So five kingdoms are kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi, Animalia, and plantae. And we had detailed discussion on kingdom Monera, saline features of kingdom Monera, then Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. In next session, we will discuss on kingdom Protista and then next kingdom. Thank you.